Hi, my name is Sanjay Madhav, and I'm going to talk about my experience as a man of 50 years old who is intact and has foreskin. And I have heard information on the arguments of both sides, whether one should be circumcised or one should be left intact. And I'm not here to debate that, and I'm not here to talk about uh, one side or the other, which is better or not better. You make your choices for yourself. But I will say this. At 50 years of age, having now been sexually active in Canada, the US, Mexico, and England, those are places I've lived, for over 30 years, I have never once had a problem with being uncircumcised or with my foreskin. I've never had an infection. I've never given anyone an infection. I've never had a negative comment on its appearance or looks by any of my sexual partners or otherwise, meaning someone in the gym or even giving me a glance, disapproving glance or something. That's never happened to me personally. I've never had a health issue related to it. I've never had uh, any issues with odor or smegma or whatever you want to call it. Um, let's see, what other people generally bring up? So I've never been teased about it. I spent a lot of time in younger years in school, especially following rugby practice in junior high school, undressed with other kids in the shower, showering, following PE class, and it's never been mentioned. It's never been pointed out. I've never been teased about it in my whole life. In over 3 decades of being naked in front of people and sexual partners, I have friends, few probably, that know that I'm not circumcised, and they are. It's never come up. It's never been an issue. I've never been made fun of. I've never been told I should do it. I have never had a doctor recommend to me that I should do it, that it would be better for my health, that it's cleaner. It's never happened. Um, Again, never been teased. Never had a woman in bed question anything about it. I've never been told there's an odor related to it. I've never had to tear or foreskin pain during intercourse or masturbation. Um, these are the things I just hear people saying that I don't have personal experience with it. For 30 years now, just never had a single issue. I do have a feeling, and why would I get circumcised now, especially given that I've got no issue with having it with foreskin. Nothing about it bothers me, is detrimental to my health, and doesn't appear that it ever will be. And so there's no reason for me to consider that procedure. I've never had a partner express a preference or request that I do it. I think it's something in society that just seems that there's certain groups that are just way too preoccupied with this thing and demonizing, like, oh, foreskin is this terrible. Well, sure hasn't been in my experience. Now, I don't know what it's like to live and as a circumcised man and have sex and masturbate with a penis in that shape, but I would assume that changing form also will change function. And I have no inclination to remove my foreskin, and I have a feeling that it would be that it would negatively impact my sexual satisfaction. Because actually, of all the structures of my penis, shaft, corona, head, which is an organ, And foreskin, the foreskin is the most pleasurable part for me. So let me elaborate on that. The gliding of the foreskin up and down over the head of shaft and then the head of the shaft and then under the head of the shaft, so exposing the shaft, and then over again and under it again, which is a pretty common masturbatory technique, is the most pleasurable technique that I found over, again, 30 years of being sexually active, and let's say now I'm 50, so probably add another 5+ years of masturbation before even being sexually active. So I know my penis, right? And that's just what feels good to me. So I would assume that if that were taken from me, especially at this point, that I would definitely notice a difference. And that difference would be something that would result in a loss. So that's just my personal experience.